Today's Albion online video is the top builds for faction PvP. That's right, the best, my favorite, all-around, most useful builds for faction PvP as a solo player attacking clumps of blobbed up players. That's right. These builds are meant for people that don't have friends and aren't sitting in a Discord with a shot caller. They just want to go out, have fun, farm a bunch of faction points, and make the most use of their time. These are very efficient and deadly builds. I'm going to show off the build, talk about how the build works, and then I'm going to show some grainy footage of the builds in action. The reason the footage will be grainy is because I was making content for Twitter, which didn't really work out. But let's get into it. The first build is the Witchwork Staff, and we're going to talk about all the stuff here that we have. Starting with the Witchwork Staff, you're going to be using the Q3 spell, that's Magic Shock. You're going to be using W1, and the passive doesn't really matter. I'm just using the passive one here. And essentially what we're doing is we're going to go double invis, and this is for faction outpost bombing. When there is a big enemy blob capturing an outpost, we sneak in, we kill a whole bunch of people, and we can escape, so there's no repair bills, and I'm going to show you in just a bit. So the Assassin Jacket is for invisibility. This will be your second invisibility. Now, I did this so much, and so many people got mad at me for doing this, that the devs actually nerfed this a little bit. And the way they nerfed it is that if you drink an invisibility potion, and then immediately use your Assassin Jacket, you will become uninvisible for about 1 second. It's a very short time, and most people are asleep at the wheel, so this does not work against an organized group blob who are all in the same guild, who are coordinating in Discord, because they will call you out and then they will counter you. But for all the other blobs of just randoms that just blob together and follow, you know, the flow like a school of fish, this destroys them completely. Now, we're using the Crypt Candle for massive, massive bonus damage. We're using the Minor Work Boots so that we can escape. This is the fastest boots that we can have. And we're using the Royal Helmet with Ballista Support Fire so that we can stun the enemies. You could use the passive that increases crowd control duration, but it does not matter. 5% is not really enough to care. This deals damage, this stuns the enemies, and the great thing is it combos really well with your Black Hole ability. You're going to see it in a minute. Basically, the Black Hole sucks everyone into one little area, then the Ballista Support Fire crashes into them, stunning and hurting all of them, setting them up for the combo, where you just spam your Qs and Ws and then escape. The Brazilian Cape, because it gives you a shield when you use your helmet, you can't be purged while the shield is active, allowing you to run away from even coordinated groups. And the Beef Stew is for more damage. We use an Elite Terror Bird because we're Bridge Watch, and it allows us to move in faster from dismounting. Basically, we dismount outside of the nameplate range of the players using our ability, and then we drink an invisibility potion and approach the outpost. Then we go invisible with our Assassin Jacket. Then we cast our E spell, our helmet, 2 Q spells, and then the W spell, and everything absolutely melts. If you want to be even more offensive, you don't use Brazilian Cape. You could use the cape, the Caerleon Cape lets you cast Q spells twice. You don't need it. You do so much damage, everything will be dead anyway. Let me show you it in action. Now, please note the quality is not that good because these are built for Twitter, so they're a little grainy, but here we are. We're going in Viz. We're going into the outpost. There's no sound. I'm sorry for that. And this is before the nerf, so I won't appear to them at all. I'm now sitting and waiting 10 stacks on my Assassin Jacket. There's the Black Hole, there's the barrel, there's the Q, there's the W. I teleport with the second part of the W. I boots out, and these guys can't catch me. There are already players mounted trying to catch me, but here's the thing, right? As soon as I start mounting, they have a 5-second cooldown when they dismount, meaning they can't take an action for 5 whole seconds. I can mount up in 2 seconds, so there's no way for them to hurt me, and because I'm on an Elite Terror Bird, then I can just Q away completely safe. So here's the second bombing here, where I go into the faction outpost, I suck a bunch of people in. You can see that their health bars completely melt. The tank is actually on point here and does stun me, so my combo goes off a little bit slower, but as you can see, I still managed to take down a whole lot of people and escape. There is no way for them to catch me. This is absolutely broken. This is an amazing way to farm faction points. You absolutely want to do this. It is crazy, crazy, crazy good and really overpowered. And these items aren't that expensive. You don't even need 8.4. You could use 5.4 with, ability power if you want. You can go way, way cheaper than what I'm showing you. Now, the ways to counter this build are with Reflect. If a bunch of people pop Reflect, if they're really on point. Hopefully they'll be stunned and they can't, though. But if someone is like on Discord waiting for you to do it and they're calling it out, they cast Demon Armor and then you will instantly die to Demon Armor. If someone has an incredibly low ping and you're playing on a high ping server, they might be able to react with defensives like Cleric Cowl and whatnot. Also, Great Arcane can time freeze you, which gives everyone like 2 to 3 seconds to get ready to just blow you up immediately. Build number 2 is Bear Paws, and this one isn't so much for nuking a faction outpost, although you can if you have some backup, like some healers, some tanks, etc. This build is still really, really great, but I mostly use this for solo gank roaming. I go attack gatherers, I attack people doing, fame farming, and so on and so forth. And so, this build is actually even good with lower IP in full loot zones. As you can see here, I killed an 8.3 player with this build. Well, similar build, I used Mage Cal instead of Avalonian or Cal of Purity because I was being cheap. But let me go over the build and how you do it. So, we're using Q3 for the bleed stacks and rooting targets. We're going to be using W2 to chase targets and deal increased damage. Passive 1 for more damage on our auto attacks. Cal of Purity is just it's an interrupt, so if you're fighting like a bolt casters and they start pushing E on you, you just interrupt it. It's really, really easy to counter a lot of builds with interrupt. You can interrupt Curse Staff, E spells if you want. This just deals a lot of damage in a line from far away. It's a really good snipe. It's a high damage beam. It's great. Stalker Jacket is huge damage around you, and this build is an all-in build. You're going to see, like, you just jump people, and you just nuke their HP down, and before they can react or assert even what's going on, they're already dead. So that's what Electric Field is for. We have Royal Sandals. This is mostly to dismount people. This is a dismounting build, the best dismount build in the game. Maybe Astral Staff might be better at this point, but we'll see. And essentially, we'll talk about Astral Staff too. I need to remind myself. I don't have a video ready for that one. But so Royal Sandals gives us damage. It gives us move speed more than most mounts, like non-gallop speed. Very essential. We have Beef Stew for damage. We have Thetford Cape for auto attack damage. We have Poison Potion for damage. All right, and of course the Terror Bird so that we can chase people and run at them at a high speed from off screen, giving us the advantage. And here we go with Bear Paws footage. I'm running at people off screen. Now this is a chest being farmed by Limhurstians and people not Bridgewatch flagged. As you can see, everyone scatters because there's just damage flying all over the place. This guy's HP, he has 4,000 HP, he's already dead. He is already dead in seconds. That's how powerful this build is. This guy has 2.7k HP, and he's a control build. You can see with the, he's trying to freeze him, he's trying to get away, but I missed my root, but it doesn't matter. My E is an engage. That one guy I beat, 8.4 battle axe, so he was equally geared to me. So also one thing to note here in this footage is my root. Here's me dismounting a player, right? Fort Sterling Cape counters your root, but it also eats it up. So here's another chest opening. I just jumped the people, hit him with the beam. Now that guy went invis. I didn't want to chase him. I want to finish this dude off, get the chest for myself, and look at all that juicy loot. Here I am running at another player off screen before he can remount on his bear, and he's just defeated. This might have been a skinning bot though, but it's still a kill's a kill is a kill. Here's another faction heart transport. He's trying to juke with invis. I dismount him. I root him. His cape eats the root. He's shielding. He's going to run into the faction outpost. I throw potion at him when he's low HP, and he jukes upward, but the potion ends up draining his HP. The bleeds drain his HP, and he's down, and then I execute him and loot the faction hearts. Faction heart, it's 200k every time. Like, this build will make you silver by ganking transports. It makes me the most faction points in the game. This is my favorite PvP build in the entire game. The entire game. This is my favorite build. It's what I do on every time a new server opens. This is what I rush to get. Build number 3 is the Astral Staff. If you skipped to this build, go look at build number 2 for an explanation. It's the exact same thing as the Bear Paws build, except it's this. I use W2 for the chase, for the movement speed. All the damage comes from Starfall, and our Stalker jacket. So I just run people down with this build. It's so damn good. So I pop boots like this. I pop W, so I'm running real fast. I pop armor, I pop E. I'm now attacking and moving at the same time with 2 different sources of damage. By the time this runs off, if they're not dead, I can Q them, I can beam them, I can auto-attack them, I can throw a potion. They're going to die if they don't have any kind of immunities or mega defensives or heals. They are 100% toast, and this build is actually even better at dismounting and even better at jumping into a massive faction outpost and just melting everybody. It's amazing. It's my favorite. Build number 4 is very similar to Witchwork, and that is the longbow. It plays the exact same way, except instead we have this face scale hat. This allows us to become immune to any kind of interruption while we channel, and our E spell, this bow spell, is a channeled ability. So it basically just prevents us from being stopped at all costs. And so what I tend to run is this. I run Q1 for multi-shot. I use this after everything else. This knocks enemies back. This deals good damage. I tend to run with explosive arrows for more damage, but you can run with frost shot if you're doing more smaller scale PvP. I run the passive 3 because I want to lower defenses. And the way it works is I go invisible, wait for 10 stacks, cast W, which snapshots with the 10 stack assassin jacket. And then I cast E, and I don't auto-attack yet. I cast E first. And I cast the helmet, and then I cast E so that I can't be interrupted. And this melts life bars. This kills everybody. This will kill an 8.4. It's ridiculous. And then I have an undead cape if I need to go invis from taking damage. I also have minor work boots. You could use Brazilian cape if you're bombing an outpost. I tend to use this for roaming blob versus blob, not so much solo bombing an outpost. Though you can, the Witchwork is just better at bombing the outpost. So this is more of a blob versus blob thing. You could use this in a 1v1. It's not as good. It's still decent, though. Also, I would use Invis Potion, not so much Major Poison, but still beef stew. I'll show you some examples. Here we go with the longbow. So I dismount, and this is Bridgewatch pushing an outpost that Limhurst is defending. So I go Invis. I wait for the 10 stacks. I walk up, I push my helmet, W, push E. Look at those health bars get deleted. Then I hit my Q spell, and then I boots away. And yeah, I took a little bit of hits there. Here's another example where I'm bombing a faction outpost this time. I don't know if I survived this one, but it's still pretty funny to nuke all the health bars. So there we go. We're just stacked up to 10. We helmet, W, E, and look at those life bars. Instantly dead. They're just so dead. And then just run out. And no one had Purge. No one had Roots. So I'm just good to go. Massive blob defeated. And here we go. This is a blob-on-blob engagement outside of an outpost. So I'm waiting to see where the enemies are retreating to. I'm at their back lines. And I delete a few people. I actually catch a guy that was in stealth. I only got 1 kill there, but it's still huge damage even against a single target. Now, this build is a meme build that I use to either stream snipe or kill a very specific single target. And let me just go over the build here. So it's a dagger pair, and the way this works is we approach with invisibility potion. We get near the streamer or the single target that we want to kill. You can use this to kill healers or any kind of supports. You can kill one single target with this every time you do it. It's so funny, no matter how geared they are, unless they're in plate or unless they are in, I think it's like 8.1 high-spec leather. It won't one-shot them, but it basically one-shots nearly everybody. And this forced the Albion TV player Bogle to wear plate armor for his faction fights pretty much henceforth forever, because I just kept killing him with this build. It's so funny. And if you want to see the clip of me stream sniping him, you got to join the Discord. But anyway, here's how the build works. As we approach the streamer or whatever, we cast Assassin's Spirit, which stacks up. And also, devs changed this and made it stack up faster, so I don't know if this has been nerfed. It should still be possible, and you're still going to hit really hard even if you don't have this stacked up. I recommend getting this stacked up. So you cast Q, you then drink your invisibility potion, you approach the streamer, and if you want, you can refresh Q at this point, which will make you uninvisible, and then you go invisible with Assassin Jacket. You wait for your 10 stacks of Assassin Jacket while you have your 3 stacks of Q. You pop your boots, which is going to leave this slime trail. This is cultist sandals, by the way. That's going to reduce their armor. You then cast E on the streamer. Immediately after Eing, you auto-attack them and cast W, which is a shotgun effect. And I'm going to go over the abilities, and then you beam them. And then you, and then they're 100% dead. It's so funny. So here's the skills. Q3 to stack up damage. W1 for shotgun and to stack up damage. Though you're not going to stack up your E damage with this, because it would waste your Assassin Jacket, right? Passive 1 for more damage. Assassin Jacket to approach, and to have 10 stacks for that juicy E. Cultist Sandals to reduce the damage resistance of whoever you're ganking. Cala Purity is just more damage. Thetford Cape, when you auto-attack, is more damage. You have Beef Stew for more damage. Let me show you it in action. So here is the dagger pair. Now, I'm using... These clips are just in random faction fights. I pick a target with high HP that's possibly healing. Like, here's a healer I'm stalking. It's kind of like World of Warcraft, right? And then we... look at that. They're just dead. They're just instantly dead. Their health bar goes from 100 to 0. It's so funny. Here's another example. I love this. It's such a meme build. It's not really useful in a team fight. It's just funny. You find whoever's healing. In this case, there's a big tree. I get nuked pretty hard, but I'm still able to pop a bleed on. You can see at the top of the screen, their health reduced to 0. I didn't instantly kill them because they were tanky, but I did give them a bleed, and they did die. So, again, here's another healer I'm just following right behind. I didn't even do the combo right, and they still died. So... Again, this combo is meant to kill very high-geared, streamers. I specifically made this build just to kill Bogle with. And now we have a Bloodletter build. I love this build. It's so good for stealing kills and having high mobility. Let's go over it. So this build has a little bit of flex to it, okay? I'm using an Assassin Hood so I can get my cooldowns back because this is a very cooldown-related build. I use Caerleon Cape. You could use Thetford Cape. I like Thetford Cape because it gives me more mobility, because I can cast our Q spell twice. On a Bloodletter, we're using Q2 for Deadly Swipe. This is our mobility. We're using Dash. You don't have to use Dash, but I love the mobility because I'm mostly just hitting people with ease and running away. I use Royal Jacket for cooldown reduction. That's the only reason I'm using this, but if you don't like or don't need as much cooldown reduction, then you could just use a Stalker Jacket for more damage, right? Royal Sandals is great for chasing and mobility because you can't purge this. It makes you fast, but if you want more cooldown reduction, use any leather boot with Refreshing Sprint. It's just as much speed, and it's debatable which one covers more ground in the long term. You can use Pork Omelet, and I have Invisibility Potion here, but you would really use a Poison Potion to finish off a target that you failed to execute. Mist Collar for cooldown reduction, of course. Let me show you it in action. Here we go, and this is Bloodletters. So this is just a small little scale fight. I can see some low HP opponents here, so I jump on them, I execute them, and again, I have like 12 seconds until I can E again, and then I run away. I dismount here, this guy's half HP. I know that I can get him below 40%. To get a target below 40%, that means 2 life bars. Two of those red bars need to remain. That's all I need to do. As soon as he gets below 2 life bars, he is executable. And there we go. Boom, dead. Like, well, almost dead, but an auto attack finishes him off. Very clean, very nice. Not a lot of examples here, but you get the idea. And the strength of this build is that you can just run away from almost everything, except maybe double-bladed, because you have such low cooldowns. You can dash, you can dash, you can dash. You know, you can get some safe distance, get all your cooldowns back. And, I'm just mainly using this for more dashes and for more executes in case someone did not die, because your cooldown gets reduced if you kill a player below 40% HP with this ability. So, the better you are at the game, the more accustomed to this weapon you are, the easier it will be to play, and the more kills you will get. The Whispering Bow is another good one. I've already made a video that included this build, but I'm going to include it again here because this is PvP builds. We have the Whispering Bow with Q1. You can use Q or W4. Sometimes you got to use W2 depending on who you're up against, so you can run away. Hunter Jacket increases your auto attack speed and damage, so you pump this before your E, so it snapshots. We have Demon Boots for escaping. We have Undead Cape for escaping. Demon Helmet means that if you silence a healer, they cannot pop defensive, so they will die. This is anti-healer. You don't have to use this helmet, but I love it for shutting down healers. Beef Stew for damage, Invis Potion, so that after we juke with Demon Boots, we can then go invisible and escape. This is meant for firing in the back lines of faction fights. I've got some video examples They don't show off Demon Helmet because I didn't have it at the time. So observe the raw damage that this build will do. So here we go. This guy has 3k HP, and it's already gone. Like, he doesn't know what to do. He's like, do I run away? Here's a 2.4k HP player. He did run out of range, but after 3 shots, it really chunked his health. Here's a whole lot of players that I just dismount right on top of. That's right. This build lets you dismount and do a 5v1, just deleting health bars. 1 guy down. There we go. 2 guys are down, and now I've got curse stacks. I'm running. I'm bolting. This is with royal boots. This was not with demon boots. I would have made more distance with demon boots. I did live, by the way. Here's a guy that thought he could approach, and then he just gets deleted. Here's another guy that thinks he can approach, and just look at his health bar. Look at his HP. I even switched targets to another guy. I guess I stopped recording there. This guy got dismounted and killed in seconds. It's so damn dangerous. Here's another guy. I think this guy's in plate. Yeah, like I can kill tanks with this. Look at now. This is again with not an astral staff, an arcane staff user that was nearby. I haven't seen him in a while. I guess he quit. Maybe he went to Europe. But yeah, even just regular autos are annoying. These guys are stuck in combat. They can't run back to town. Here's me sniping another person from the back. The damage that this build deals is absolutely insane. You gotta love it. Here's a guy mounted. He's dismounted. He doesn't know what's going on. He's now dead. And the range is so far. You've got to play this. The dagger is another very busted and powerful ability. And man, my silver's been going up. My auctions must be selling. And essentially, here's the build. You got Q2 for mobility and damage. You got W1 for damage and shotgunning. And we have passive 3 so that our auto attacks are increased in attack speed, which is a steroid for our E spell. We have Hunter Jacket, which increases our attack speed and damage. Snapshots really well with E. Also, we have Morgana Cape, increasing our attack speed, which is really good for our E. We have Moizak, because we don't want to use Crypt Candle. It makes us too squishy. And we have the mana sustain, kinda, for a few engagements with Moizak. Moizak makes everything cost more mana. We deal more damage, but we don't have the defensive debuff that Crypt Candle gives. Yeah, Crypt Candle would let us deal more damage, but Moizak lets us deal more auto-attack damage, which I don't believe Crypt Candle does. We have Royal Sandals for damage, but the real important thing with these boots is that it lets us chase targets, because as soon as you start attacking, they're going to walk away, which is going to reduce how many swings or auto-attacks that you get off. And when these boots are active, you will have way more auto-attacks go off against a moving target than you wouldn't. And then we just have Cali Purity for damage. I mean, you could use a Smoke Bomb helmet, I guess. I forget what it's called. But this one is just pure damage. I love pure damage. If a player does use like a mobility move to get away with barely any health, you just beam them from the distance and they fall over dead. It's amazing. You also have Poison Potion in case they do the same thing and you just want more damage and true damage. Let me show you examples of how fast this build deletes health bars. Also, if you want to back cap against people, this is the build to do. Like, here's 2 people guarding an outpost that just got captured. I dismount. They dismount, ready to tumble, ready to rumble, and just watch their health. It's so funny. Even though they're knocking me around, and he's trying to kite me, he's just dead. Mostly dead. He's about to get beamed, though. His friend here is absolutely low health. This is a tank, by the way. 3.2k HP and plate armor, dead immediately. And yeah, I have Grizzly Longcut coming in here to help with his... what is that? Spirit Hunter. But yeah, this is a brawler build. This build will absolutely delete someone. There's not a whole lot they can do. Now, in a mass PvP fight, in a blob on blob, you just single out a few targets, and then you just delete their health bars. And they'll try to fight back. They'll pop defensives. You just switch targets, immediately delete someone else's health bar, run up, finish them off. You can even... This is why I use the beam. It's a finisher. That's why I have poison potions, even though these are show tier 4. Here's a guy that wanted a little 1v1, but I think my build does more damage. Even though he's running away, like rolling away, sprinting away, and pushing me back, he's still dead, okay? And then here's another kill. I think Acer's a streamer, I think. I'm not sure. But you can see, even though I got knocked way back by the, whatever that mace is called, I still beamed him. I think he was dead anyway. But yeah, you just deal so much damage with this build. It's ridiculous. And if I threw Poison Potion here, he would have died. But Bridgewatch came in to finish him, so it wouldn't have mattered. Build number 9 is the Battle Axe build, and here's how it works and why it works. This is a brawling build. This is a 1v1 build. You can use this build in Mists if you want. It's not just faction PvP. You could use it in corrupted dungeons. It has high sustain. It 1v1's like an absolute champ. It's dangerous as hell. Let's go over it. Q3 for bleed stacks and rooting. We have W2 for chase and damage. Your Blood Bandit is for dealing damage and sustain. You generally don't use it for sustain unless you need to. Most of your sustain is Hellion Jacket. And the way this works, and this also got nerfed, by the way, by the devs, is used to, you could just run into a bunch of enemy mobs and fully heal yourself with this. But if you're stealing against mobs, it only heals half as much. So this works better in a group of players, but if you're still in a 1v1 situation, and there's like 4 or 5 mobs nearby, it's still better to run into the mobs and life leech off of them. We have Spectre Hood, so you can refresh your armor twice, so you can heal twice. Any cloth boots with energetic sprint. This is a very mana-hungry build. You can't fight forever. Your weakness is that you will run out of mana in a very long sustained fight. You have Healing Potion for sustain, you have Beef Stew for damage. You can also go with Pure Mist Snapper for lifesteal, if you want, and I believe cooldown reduction damage? I forget what it has. Moizak is for damage, auto-attack damage with no defensive downsides. Thetford Cape for more damage. Let me show you in action. So yeah, here's some Battle Axe fights. You can see here that I'm fighting this guy now. I greatly outgear this dude, but you can see, now it's a 2v1. We've got the Grail Seeker here that's jumped in, and the Grail Seeker is, I believe, 8.3, 8.4, but it doesn't matter because I pop Hellion Jacket. I'm slowly healing. They're outside of the range. They're playing very well. I pop my helmet. I get my sustained life back from throwing the Battle Axe. He's dead. Now I'm on the 8.4 Grail Seeker guy, and we're just dueling. We're brawling. We're, man fighting, man mode, stand and fight. And he can't handle it, and I'm healing, and I have another heal coming up with my axe. I still have my potion cooldown. You can see that I'm able to 2v1 people of equal and, well, mostly of equal gear. The Grail Seeker is of equal gear. The other guy wasn't, but he's still a dangerous threat. And you can see that I'm perfectly fine. I've got a heal here, a heal here. I can still, continue brawling. And as soon as this is off cooldown, that's another big chunk of heal, so I'd be healed about to there if I land. I hit. The only downside to Battle Axe is you have to land your attacks because it's a skill shot. Build number 10 is Great Axe, and I'm only making this build for all the people, myself included back in the day, that fell for the meme that Great Axe is a good weapon. It's really not. This is just for all the people that got suckered into using this damn weapon and leveling it up. I was one of them way back in the early days, but hey, if you happen to have one, you can still make use of it, and here's how we're going to do it. You're going to use Q3, you're going to use W2, you could also use Raging Blades, it's whatever. I like the defensive one because I like to be a little bit tanky because you will be focus fired doing this. We have Druid Sandals to slow enemies. We also have Bridgewatch Cape to slow enemies and lower their crowd control resistance. So we just want to slow everyone so we're dealing as much damage as possible. You could also go with Cultist Sandals for more damage, but most people, when you attack them with this build, they run away. That's what they're going to do. They're going to pop defensives and run away, and you want to hold them down as long as possible in the blender, okay? Stalker Jacket for damage, and Spectre Hood to refresh your Stalker Jacket. And so essentially all you do is you just run at them twice, you queue them up, you spin with your armor active. I forgot to activate my armor, but you would have your armor active, and then you start swinging and you're rooting people, and then you pop your helmet to get your armor back, and hopefully you're dealing damage to a big clump of people. I'm going to show you what I managed to be able to do in action. This build isn't that great, but, even though it has great in the name, it's a lot of people got sidelined or pigeonholed into using this damn thing, so I figured I'd make a build for you guys. And here's what it looks like. 38 seconds of footage. So we got this guy mounted. It looks like he wanted to fight. We root him. He stuns us. We boots. We armor. We E. I didn't even pop W here. But you can see I dealt... I'm killing him. It works, but not that great compared to other builds. Here's a blob we run in. We got a bunch of people. We're tagging them. We're hitting them. Their HP is going down. They pop defensives. They pop boots. It's my E is over, I pop another armor. Again, I didn't really do much or contribute. I wounded some people and I got some tags, but, they just turn around and attack me. And luckily I had a healer on standby, so there we go. I survived that one, but it didn't really do much for that fight. Build number 11 is the crossbow build. I love this build. Is so fun. This is a very fun and evil build. So you have the crossbow. You have Q1. This is way more damage. I know Q2 is more skill-based, but this is for single targets. This is going to light a person up and deal tons of damage. You can't avoid it, really. You have to pop defensives. We have W2 for the Sunder Shot. This shreds their armor. It deals a good chunk of damage. We just have passive 1 because we want to be knocking people back. It's really annoying to fight against knockback, especially on auto attacks. Man, crossbows are some of the most annoying weapons to fight in the whole game. We have a Scholar Robe, which increases our cast time. That's all we're using this for, so we can snipe faster. We also have Morgana Cape, so we can cast faster, so we can snipe faster. We have Royal Sandals, so we can chase people and Q them or auto attack them or run up close enough to them so that our snipe can go off before they get out of range. We have Assassin Hood, so we can snipe more often and run around more often. Now, you can use a Poison Potion, but Berserk Potion, 19% increased damage on that snipe. It's crazy powerful. And Beef Stew for more damage. Let me show you it in action, though I'm not going to be showing you examples with Berserk Potion. Just add 20% of the damage you see on the screen. And here we go. Now, this is against an 8.3 cloth healing build. Most healing builds you have to leave alone, but Crossbow just deletes their health. Look at this guy's health. So we hit him with Q. We're kind of dancing around a bit. We're getting a feel for how he's going to fight. He's going to heal up. That's fine. We Q him again. He's starting to hurt us a little bit. We pop our cooldowns. We're getting ready to sunder and snipe, and boom, dead. Just instantly dead. Now, this is an 8.3 plate player with a damage debuff, and look how much damage we still do. Again, only about 700 there, but because he's in plate, what's he going to do to us? Nothing. And I don't think we even sundered him, right? So that was a non-sundered snipe, and we still chunked the hell out of this guy. You can see he got stuck with the Great Axe too. Now, this thing is so good for shooting outside of outposts, so we just auto-attack that guy, he's dead. I mean, not auto-attack, we queued him. Here's a snipe, that guy's dead. This thing is just crazy. We dismount this guy, and you can see we're going to run up, and then we're going to sunder, and then we're going to run up, and we're going to snipe him. And that's why we use these boots. And he's just instantly dead. There's nothing this guy could do. Now, this guy he didn't have the best gear, neither does this dude, but you can see that our Q spell kills players if they have garbage gear. We don't even need to snipe them. You just push Q and they die. It's great. Now, the Life Touch Staff is my favorite healing weapon in the whole game, and I'll show you and tell you why. There's a few different variations of how we play this build. If we're playing in a blob with a bunch of other Bridge Watch bros or whatever, we're going to run this build. We're going to run with Q3 for Holy Flash. We're going to run with W4 for Holy Orb. Passive 1 for increased healing. If we're by ourselves and we need to brawl and fight other players, and you can fight and you can kill with this build, we run with Smite, and then I run with Holy Blessing here, because this gives us armor and increases the healing we receive on ourselves. We can't be forced to move. And I also switch the passive here to passive 4 so that our casts and channels are uninterruptible. So not only are we uninterruptible when we cast W, we can't be moved, which means we can't be knocked in the air, we can't be, thrown around or whatever. It's really, really, really good. And yeah, unless you get Zerg down, you're not dying in this build. You will sustain forever. We're running Cloth, okay? And Cloth can make you very squishy, but Face Scale Robe is a very offensive armor. If we need to make space and run away or trap someone in a circle, we use Ring of Fire. If we're going to get focused, we use Storm Shield. If we are on the offensive and we need to drain someone's HP because they themselves are a healer or a tank, we run with Frozen Fragments. Now, Calipurity, this is just damage from a distance. I love dealing damage. Thetford Cape for damage. Our auto attacks are going to be hitting. Our Qs are going to be hitting. Our helmet, our armor is going to be hitting. We have Mist Collar for those lower cooldown reduction. This is how you chase. This is how you escape. This is how you heal more. We have Royal Sandals for chase and escape and more damage if we need it. And it can't be purged. We have Omelette for cooldown reduction. And you may be thinking, why are you using a tier 2 energy potion? We almost never need to use this. This gives us cooldown reduction, and if we just need a little shot of energy, then this is more than enough. It's like 29% restored energy, and since we're running 8-4, we don't really go out of mana anyway, Only in a really long fight are you going to start running out of mana, right? And anyway, let me show you the build. It's so good. And here it is, many different examples. Here is a 1v1 against, what is this, a demonic staff? Yeah, so he automatically uses, I'm using the wrong W here, but it doesn't matter because he wasted his fear. You see, I trapped him in the burning circle. He's now burning. He's, you know, I'm auto-attacking him. I didn't even need to use boots here. Here's another one. This guy, now I do outgear this guy, but he is a werewolf, so he has a lot of sustain. But you can see I can easily out-damage him. Again, I still have the wrong W on, but we just DPS him down, no problem. These guys were trying to kill an outpost, and not only can I heal the outpost captain, I can infinitely fight and brawl these guys. I can chase, I can aerial denial, and because of my damage, I'm able to take him out. He's not able to run. He's a bloodletter and he couldn't run from me. What? Now here's a group fight. They got pulled in. They get clumped. I pop the heals. I save them from being burned down in that big clump there. You can see as a healer, that's your role. Also, here's a back cap clip. I'm back capping. A guy rolls up. They want to fight. Okay, now I had to speed this up because this is a long fight. But you can see here that 2v1... What are they going to do? I'm a healer. I just heal every time. I get my mana back. I'm dealing damage. They're a healer. They're getting their health back. They can't sustain. It's a healer versus a healer. They even had an extra DPS, and I chased both of them out by the time that the guards spawned. Easy peasy, man. This build slaps. And finally, we have the Shadow Caller build. Now, this is not entirely a PvP build. You can melt players with this. If they aren't a meta build, if they aren't equally geared, your spells hit so damn hard they just die. And I'm going to talk about that. But essentially, let's start with the Shadow Caller. This is for soloing outpost bosses. You can also absolutely use this to solo dungeons, group dungeons, solo statics. Anyway, so for the Shadow Caller, you're going to use Q3 for the Cursed Tar. You're going to use W4 for the Cursed Beam. This is huge DPS against faction bosses. Passive 1 for more damage. Again, these are DPS races. You just go with passive 1. Because you're fighting a single target, the most damage you can deal to an enemy is with Cultist Cow. Because it is counted as a monster and not a player, you deal a huge amount of damage to the faction boss with Cultist Cow. Then you have Stalker Jacket. This is, again, huge damage, nice defensives. You definitely want to run this so you can solo the faction boss as fast as possible. You have Cultist Sandals to reduce the faction boss's resistance, making you kill it faster. We have Crypt Candle for all-out damage. Again, we don't care about losing defensives here. Don't use Moisac, you'll go out of mana, okay? Use Crypt Candle, you'll kill it faster. You also have so much sustain with Shadow Caller, it's insane. Because you're wearing leather, you can cast this on yourself, and your E-spell will deal damage and heal for all the damage you're dealing. It's great. We have Roast Pork for lifesteal. We have Healing Potion for regenerating health. Now, if you're going to be fighting players, you want to run not so much Armor Piercer, you want to run Desecrate, and here's why. You swap to Desecrate. You cast Desecrate, a player is now held in place. You then cast Inner Shadow on them. You're going to chunk almost all of their HP. You could also run, you know, Cursed Sickle or Q1 if you want a PvP. I prefer Q1 against single targets. It's just more reliable. I don't have to worry about people dodging out of the way. But with Desecrate, you can probably get 2 stacks with Cursed Sickle. But for me, it's Desecrate E. By the time that goes off, they're usually broken, the Desecrate, and they're just bleeding out. They're going to be running away. I can't really chase in this build, so I just use it to ward off players that try to, you know, they're just like pesky flies while I'm soloing an outpost boss. And if you want to see this in action, it's pretty basic. So here is what soloing an outpost boss looks like. I'm just using a horse instead of a bear, and actually, I'm not going to show that because that's a members only secret, so sorry. You'll have to become a channel member if you want to see how that fight goes. I don't think I've made that public. I don't know if I've made that public or not, but yeah, that was the Limhurst faction boss, where you have to also fight Boris, and there's a way to not fight Boris, and I don't think I want to share that publicly. So become a channel member, $5, click join down below. Thank you so much for the support. With that said, that's the video. Please leave a like, leave a comment, and click the video on the right side of your screen. If this video does really well, I'll make another build video for PvP stuff, because look, I only covered the basics. Look at all these other weapons you could PvP with, and they all have builds, and I know you want to know them, so this video does really, really well, I'll make a sequel. But until then, just click the video on the right side of the screen, and if you don't, then the next time you go out for fast food, they're going to mess up your order.